Hello, everybody. Good to see people already in watching. How's everyone doing today? So this will be the first episode of our Make a Game in RPG Maker MZ video series. Let me pull up my notes because I actually have a whole bunch of things to say at the beginning because this is going to be the first one. I'm going to pop over to my actual screen of RPG Maker. So, first of all, welcome to everybody. This stream is going to be once a week, every Wednesday, on about 7 o'clock on Eastern Time. We will normally go for 3 hours. Today I'm only going to do 2. Oh, hey, Tryon. Because we're just like getting everything started, making sure everything's set up right, going good. Today, there may be some slight audio issues. This is because I moved my office recently and I ordered acoustic foam for my walls, but I don't have them in yet. So right now, it may echo a little bit, and I'm sorry about that. But also, the first thing to mention is that while this stream is an official RPG Maker stream from Digica, the game I'm making is my own game. So the decisions I make in designing it are entirely my own. They were not anything. Nothing was, they didn't say you have to do this or this or this. It was just make your game on stream. Cool, that's fun. So, like, what resources I decide to use, what plugins I use, all my choices, not Digica's. And the game, when it's done, is mine. We're gonna have it on the RPG Maker web site just as a free download when I'm done. So that will be good. Let's see, I covered most of the stuff on my notes. So the next thing is when we do structure, I'm going to work a little bit between each... Well, thank you, Tryhan. I know, I meant to tell people to watch yours today, too. Tryhan streams on Wednesdays a few hours before mine, so always try to catch him. But... let's see. I'm gonna work a little bit between each stream too, because if I only work for 2 to 3 hours a week on a game, it's gonna take forever to do. So the first thing I'm gonna do every single time when we start is I'm gonna show you what I did. So let's first look at what I did with this game before I started the first stream. The first thing is I'm using the Vesistella core plugins. I might use some more of their plugins. I do not know. I'm just going to go ahead and disclose the fact that I do get all of the Vesistella plugins for free because I've worked with several of the members over time, just known them for a long time. So I get them for free, so if you need to know that, there you go. They're worth it to me. Take it with the grain of salt it is that I get them for free, but I would pay for them, and I think I'm probably going to still pay for some of them anyway. I set a lot of those up. I set up things with what icons are used by each things, removed some setting menus and stuff like that before we started. Another thing I did was in the database. So I set up my actors. I didn't set up any of like their skills or anything much, really. All I did was set up, for instance, I'm using these 4 actors in both their modern and fantasy versions. So I just threw all of those faces onto one set so I can save room when I'm done. Same with their sprites are thrown on one set. And I removed all of the side view battlers I'm not going to use, so there's no reason to have them in there. You'll notice on their classes, I actually put in icon numbers because each of my characters in my game. Yeah, the 4 plugins are all free from Vesistella. It was more of the comment of I'm probably going to be using some more of them later on. And the core ones are really, really good. Will the streams be archived? Yes. You can always watch them on YouTube later. And so all my characters are going to be a weapon type and a element type. So that's why their classes are listed as that. They don't have like standard classes. But this will actually show in the menu the icons instead. And on the icons, another thing, I am using a set of icons by Caswolf. Some of these are free, some of these are paid. I have bought some of them. I also have the option that Caswolf gave me to use them for free, but I'm going to buy them over time when I have the money to. I'm going to drop... Actually, I was meaning to do this. So, this is Stella. I must drop some links in the chat. Oh, another thing to know about the stream is I use a mechanical keyboard. So when I'm typing, you guys will know. It's going to be very loud, and I apologize for that. I might buy another keyboard to use during streams. So this is the link for Visistella. This here is the icons from Kaz. Both of them really good. There's a couple other stuff I'm using. I'm using from us at Digica. Yeah, the Kaz icons are so amazing. They're very good. So I'm also from Digica itself, from Katakawa actually. I'm using the MV Trinity pack for all of my tiles and MV itself. I'm not using the MZ tiles. I think they're good, they're fine. I just think that MV plus MV Trinity gives you so much variety right now. And since they're all compatible, I'm going to use those instead. Maybe, you know, when we've had more packs come out for MZ, I'll feel differently. They're good. There's nothing wrong with the tiles. Just not the variety yet. And I'm hoping we'll get that in the future. So, and I might actually take some of those MZ tiles and do some saturation changes so they match MV tiles and use them anyway. So another thing that I'm using is also from Digica. I am using, I think it's pronounced Crackware or Cratchware user interface material. They have a lot of really good window sets. Actually, let me just load up my playtest so I can show you the menu screen. So like this window set is from that. I quite like it a lot. This is the Visistella menu. I have some things turned off, like there's the formation, which I turned off. There's a lot of things I've adjusted, and some things don't have the proper icons in yet because I haven't finished doing that. But that's the window set I'm using. Let's see, was there anything? I think that's everything that I did before. Oh, wait, there's one more thing I did before we started. And then I can get started on actually doing something. But I want to make sure everyone knows all the stuff that I did before we start. So another thing I did was I took MV and MV Trinity stuff, and I started combining the packs together with cut and paste in Photoshop. So, and you'll notice I haven't done any passabilities, and that's because you don't actually have to do the passabilities to map. You just have to do them later to make sure everything works. I'm also going to use, I'm going to be setting up passabilities as I go. Here's a really interesting hint for people who get tired doing one thing for a long time, like I didn't want to set up all these passabilities yet, is that you can do it as you go. It's fine. The main thing is you want to get your assets in so that you are like not having to change a whole bunch of stuff in the editor later. It's fine to go do this as you need them. Like, I don't have to actually set the passability of this tower if I never use it. So I combined together all the world set tiles from all of them and deleted out any duplicate tiles in sets. I didn't put the Dark Fantasy one in, but this is like almost everything for world map materials from MV and MV Trinity, and I actually still had some room on it. And I made like decisions on like I think I chose these trees specifically. I also did the same thing on the sci-fi ones. I'm going to be doing the ones for fantasy for when I do the fantasy world stuff later. But I put together a whole bunch of the tiles. Again, no passabilities are done. My B through E is the same on both inner and outer. The only difference is I have a different set of A tiles. So that was the last thing I've done. Today, I'm going to actually try to do some mapping. Yeah, do things as you go. Like, it's so much simpler. I get really bored doing the same thing over and over again. Oh, another thing I did a little differently. If you look at my E, I went through and all the stuff that would be set against a wall, I adjusted it so that it would be really easy to use as is. Because I really don't like having, you know, like people use like Yanfei's doodads for MV, but I just like adjusting them on the tile sets themselves. Lets me do a lot of stuff really fast. So the first thing I'm going to be working on some maps. I'll talk about my game a little bit too. So the idea of the game that I'm doing, I think I posted a little bit about it in the forums, is I'm going to do a mix of sci-fi and fantasy. The main story of the game is you have these 5 heroes from a long time ago in this world of fantasy. Magic got sealed away for various reasons, and they get but because magic is sealed away, everything starts progressing more normally, right? So we have like a normal modern world. There's the people who, and then every 100 years, the magic starts trying to come back, and something very evil tries to come back, and the heroes have to stop it again because they are reincarnated. So we're dealing with the 4 heroes, and let's see, I'm doing inner. Let's see. I tried to do this last a couple weeks ago on another stream, but I'm gonna try my best to do a convenience store. So one of the things is trying to find a wall that works good for a convenience store. Like before, I tried to do it with the shelves itself, which is probably still not the right idea. But I think just a generic wall, and I'm making a mistake. You always want to do not map zoomed out. It is a very bad mistake. A lot of people do it, and what happens is you end up mapping way too small. You don't map like what the player is going to see. Also, always make your map bigger than what you're actually going to use. And I can always adjust the size of this, but I just want to put in some kind of wall so I can see what I'm doing. I know on E I have stuff like the shelves. Let's put some shelves in. And oh, am I on manual layer? I am on manual layer. I made a mistake from the very beginning. Let us switch layers to automatic layer and start over again. That's on the appropriate layer, but everything else is not. You know what I could have done? I could have just drawn that on layer 1. Yeah, my typing speed is right around that too. But I mean, when your job involves lots and lots of typing, you just get fast. Let's see, I'm just reading through chat really quick. Nothing overly important for me to pay attention to yet. Y'all are just talking about typing speed. Alright, now that I'm on auto, which I think is the best way to start. I realized I didn't put a floor in. That was amazing. So for a floor, I probably want something. I kind of feel like I don't have what I want here, and I may need to like make some Frankie spriting. But let's see what I can put in. So let's switch to layer 1 and draw a floor. That's really boring, but it's probably what I'm going to go with right now, and I may change something to it later. Layer numbers, it's what order they're drawn in. Layer 1 is the base layer, layer 2 goes up, and so like, if I put something on layer 2, it will show over layer 1. Let me put back to automatic. Everyone should float in the void. It would be so much easier in life if I could just float in the void. Alright, let's put some old stuff. See, like how I adjusted the distance these are from the wall, and how much like nicer that looks than it did with them sitting right up against it. Alright, and put in an A. No, that's not the thing I was going to. Also, I had my hand on the wrong. I wanted the ATM. There's the ATM. And I think I need to do like, oh, there. Yeah, shadow pen is drawn between layers 2 and 3. I'm not sure if that's absolute, like, you mean you could change it with a plugin. Like, for instance, this is drawing on 3, so there's no shadow over it. And honestly, you know, maybe that's not the best place for it, but it, you know, depends on your game. Like, see, it won't go over that. But you can always change that. You can probably go into plugins and change where it draws. Though it won't affect where it looks on the editor. It'll change it in game. Alright. Trash cans. Just get off the shadow tool. Put the trash cans like in front of the countertop. Let's get a countertop in here. Okay, this is another situation where I need to use layers to like draw behind something I've already drawn. Which is one of the cool things about using layers with this, is before, if you had already drawn something, there was really no good way to get behind it. You just had to start over. With that, I would have had to like draw in here and then draw on the other things back over it, which is a pain. Okay. Counter. We need like an entrance. I was thinking like about using, let's see if I have them here. I have some like big windows, and I can put those up in the front. But I cannot seem to find them. That is the one thing about like, I put this together like over the weekend, these tile sets. And some of it I had like rhyme and reason to where things are, but then as I kept doing it, it just all blurred together and I just started throwing things together. I swear there were like some really big windows that were somewhere. I think the closest we're going to get to the big windows is maybe these, like this. Yeah, there we go. Like, one of the things is, man, I would have just been drawing over everything over and over again this time, like thinking about it. So this is the outside of the building, so we can use something like maybe some brick. Let's switch our layer again. And we can draw under it. And then that, and I think it'll be it needs like a door. I don't remember if I've imported all the doors yet. But I'm pretty sure it's a glass door that matches. I'll put it in events layers. All right. So maybe like the top of another row of stuff over here. Another one of these here. Let's look for some other decorations that would be in. It needs like a telephone on the wall over here, maybe. That feels like it should be a little bit different placed, but that's fine. Time left for implementing not Sephiroth. Who do you define as not Sephiroth? I'm curious. What does this do better than MV? A lot of stuff, actually. One of the things I've been using repeatedly is the ability to switch layers so I can draw under things. Like right now, like if I want to change the floor, I can switch to layer 1 and redraw the floor, which I'm going to because I don't like that that tile, but I don't think I have a tile right now that I really like. But see, I can just go underneath that and look how easy that was to replace compared to... Yeah, those little chibis are gonna have a hard time getting that foam, man. It's up on the wall. I'll probably like go and adjust it in Photoshop and move it down. Like that's the one thing with like when I do all the adjustments, I know I'm gonna miss some things that probably I'd want to adjust. Like not only that, but like because I move this down, I'm probably gonna try to round off the top of this a little bit more. Because they ran out of room on the tile basically to round out that edge. But you probably do it now that I'm using 3 tiles for it instead of 2. But I really want to find a floor tile I think looks right, but like all of them are either too fantasy with these or they're too fancy for like I just need like a standard tile floor. But I don't know if they have one. So that may be something I put together myself. And that's one thing that a lot of people think they can't do any spriting, like at all. And I'll just tell you that you probably can. You probably can do some. It may not be the best, but you can probably do some. I don't know why that's in this section, but some kind of godly creature that wants to destroy the world, tied to the main character and with a sad, humanish backstory that serves as a closure to the main conflict as Ignis. Technically I already have one of those. My main villain is one of the 5 heroes from Legend, who has reasons for doing things a bit differently. And while his reasons make sense, they're not exactly, don't make him a very good person. It just makes him understandable. I always like that. I also do need to put like a stool there. Though, like from knowing people who have worked in convenience stores, there may be a stool back there. But no one will ever let you sit in it. Like management won't let you sit in it. Because if you sit in the stool, you're not working. It's very dumb. But no, actually talk about the characters a little bit. So in the setting, let's put some stuff on the wall. I don't know like what, let's see, a calendar would go on the wall. That's pretty good. So often though, like I have that thing of like up here is too tall, down here is too low. I kind of need to like have it's going to be more editing, more stuff on tile E where I have everything spaced out. So, with talking about the characters, so one of the things that I think is important in a game is that your characters not just be... Also, you know what? I think... Let me do a little editing here. I think it would look better without the windows going all the way. Is so often, especially RPG Maker devs, will make games where you have characters who have no real purpose other than a gameplay purpose. They exist because you wanted a healer in your game. Maybe a door back here, because go to a back room. And the problem is where you have a situation where the only reason someone exists is to serve a gameplay purpose is that they're really boring. So I think that all your characters should have some kind of storyline. Something going on about them. I think maybe I can do like 2 different styles on the floor. Let's switch to layer 1 and like, I think I actually like that floor for like right here, and then like let's do something different outside that. But if it's one of those things of, I think it's funny that that's a wall because I keep trying to use it as a floor, and I messed that up. Good at this. I promise I know what I'm doing. So here's another piece of information. Streaming instantaneously makes you dumber. The moment you start streaming, you forget how to do everything. But, as I was saying, so everyone needs to have some kind of conflict in the game. Every character needs to have a conflict in the game. No matter, you know, well, every important character, every playable character especially. There are situations, you know, actually I may make this a little bigger so that I can put, or maybe just But, okay. I'm being very dumb again. So, for instance, in this game, I have a total of 4 playable characters. And of those 4, they all have some kind of inner conflict that has nothing that is based on the plot, but not directly the plot. So we have one character who is the reincarnation of a knight, and his thing is that in modern times, because they don't know their reincarnations, right? They're just living their normal lives before everything happens. And so he's the reincarnation of this great knight. He starts learning about his old self, except for he's not really this brave, go-get-him type guy. Did I use this one? Hold on. I use this door instead. I might need to get some tall doors. I like tall doors a little bit more. Maybe like 1.5 tile tall. And so he has to deal with the whole conflict of the fact that he feels like he is a letdown from what he should be. Like, he's not as good in his mind, but he has other good things about him, and that's the whole thing, is that he has to slowly figure out that, like, okay, being the great knight maybe is not the thing he needs to be. He ends up helping at the very end by being calm and collected and intelligent rather than being brave and bold and the leader. One of the other characters, the villain, for instance, his issue is that someone very close to him died. And he's trying to bring back the magic in order to resurrect them. And the reason why is because he is going to get reincarnated over and over again. So even after he dies, his soul's not going to go into the afterlife where he would get to meet the person he cared about. He's going to instead be reincarnated again to go through all this again and never see them again, in his mind. That's how he thinks. So he wants to bring magic back good once and for all. I think we need this to be a little bit bigger. So that he can see the person he cares about again, because he's going to resurrect them. Which is a understandable motive, right? You can understand why he would do that. It may not be the best thing to do, but I mean, can you say you wouldn't do maybe something the same? I may need more distance the other way. And then one of our other heroes is... his whole thing is that he was the brother of the person who passed away, so he knows the main villain. I'm just adjusting where the entrance is now. So he has that whole thing going on of trying to deal with the loss himself, but also trying to stop what the villain is doing, because he's... So, but, and, you know, he has hard times trusting others, that kind of stuff. See if I can throw maybe a couple more of these. Maybe put some boxes over here. This doesn't have to be the best run convenience store. We need some variety. Then one of the other characters, every single time when the original magic was sealed away a long time ago, they ended up dying in order to seal it, and every single rotation they have to die again. They're also the only person who knows what's actually going on, and so they know that... I don't like where that's sitting, but they know, unlike everyone else, that they're going to end up dying, and they know that the magic is coming back. And so their conflict is over... I'm trying to figure out how to stack these in the corner. Their conflict is more of a thing of they are trying to deal with the problems of, well, I have to die to seal away the magic. There's no other way. Everyone, you know, I'm making these friends and I care about them and I like them. But in the end, I'm not going to be around anyway. And then my main character, I'm still working on her what her actual plot thing is other than just being connected to the main plot. I know that she is... That seems kind of in the wrong place. I'm going to put it directly behind the counter, even though that's not where it would be in real life. But she's kind of like down on her luck, not doing well. She was in college, but she had to drop out because of money issues. So probably the main conflict I want to do with her is the concept of, you know, do you want to stop magic from coming back? Like, you could just let it come back, and, you know, maybe that's not the perfect thing for the world, but, you know, who asked the world? Like, your life sucked before all this started, so why can't, you know, they have the world with magic back? I actually think I want to do that in the end, right? I do think I want to have a choice in the end over whether you what happens. That's not, you know, that doesn't look like where it would be in real life. Of a choice in the end of whether to bring magic back or to leave it gone. And there's reasons for both. I'll see you later, Tron. And thank you, because he helped me with a couple of things. Even though the thing he helped me with, this is still updated their plugins, and then I didn't need it immediately after he helped me. But he did help me. He's a smart person. Good at not being me, which is me be dumb. Let's see. I'm still... I don't know. I'm still on the floor. The whole thing with the floor is, like, I feel like I need a tile floor, and I feel like there was one, and maybe I missed it when I was throwing together all the tile sets. Let me make sure I didn't accidentally forget to put a tile. I think I did. I think I forgot to put the A5 in here. That's the problem. I don't have the A5s in. So there's some tiles missing. All right. It is time to do some run through and grab some assets that I forgot to put in. That would probably be a good idea. Oh. All right. This. I can't seem to find an entire folder of stuff that I had. Another thing that you can quickly learn: you are an idiot. As in me. I am an idiot. I very often... Okay, that's not what I needed to bring up. I very often will forget something entirely, but let's use... I can use the resource manager to pull in tile set from... Wait, no. DLC. Grab the MZ... MV Trinity resource pack, and I'll grab the tile set from it. So it's, I think G is the sci-fi stuff. It is. So G inside A5. I bet you I can do so much better when I actually have the A5 tiles. All right, let's see. So I actually like this tile up here. Let's use like something like this for the rest of the room. And let me skip back over to layer 1 again, like I've done a bunch of times. The one thing, again, on the comment of completely unrealistic, is the idea that they would put carpet behind the counter. like they care about those people back there. I think the problem is that this looks more right, but it doesn't have enough pop contrast with these tiles here. Let's see if I can find something else. Because you want your tiles to jump off the back, right? You don't want to have... This is just concrete, though. This seems wrong. This doesn't seem correct. We'll see how it looks. Actually, I think it's supposed to be concrete, but it kind of works as carpeting too. I think if I put it underneath over here too, might look okay. If I can get to the right layer again, stop skipping it. Yeah, it kind of looks like just gray carpet. I could see that in a convenience store, even though they would probably not want to put tile down. But I would really want like just some regular tile, maybe like that. No, that's too small. Need like some big tiles. Let me actually pull up chat. Yeah, that tile looks like restroom tile. And what I want is like the big chonk tiles they use in most stores, which actually wouldn't be that hard to make, right? I think if you took something like this tile, you take this tile here and you open it up and you kind of like cut out all the inside part of it and just leave just the outside edging, and then get some kind of, take one of the color tiles in here and spread it across the whole thing, like that lightest one, maybe even lighter than that. And you can probably do it. Pink, blue, or red. The thing is it's always interesting trying to map something that would be drab in real life. Because, like, you want to make it look good, but it's a convenience store, and none of those look good. They just look like a bunch of shelves with bright things on them. We need some more stuff on the counter, though. Like, what's useful? Nope. I'm on, I sometimes forget I'm on fill. That would be good if it was placed a little different. Like some bottles or something. I know I have some just bottles sitting around in one of these. Is it? I bet you it's in one of my other tile sets. I may need to like go grab some stuff from other tile sets one day. At one point. Not one day. After a stream. They have like a safe to put behind it. Remove one tile of shelves from the wall, lower the shelves, and double it. Yeah. I have the problem where I like look at this and so often I'm like, I understand why the tile is positioned the way it is, because it's set to sit inside a 48 by 48 square. But I so just want to, like, if I could just have the tip of this popping out from behind this counter, it would look more right. And that needs to be raised to the very top. So one thing you can do is see, like, I can put this here, and then later on I can go into the tile set and just raise that in the tile set, and it'll be fine. Also, you have the problem that your eyes are really bad and you can't see what a tile is without looking really close. I'm like leaning really close in and pulling my mic with me to try to look at what some of these tiles are. Like, what is this supposed to be? Oh, it's a fan. That actually makes sense. Like a fan. I wish it was like a standing fan, like a little fan you could put on a counter somewhere. All right. Wish I had better eyes. Also, I wish that I could just pull everything in a way where everything was 2 inches from me. I have the YouTube chat on like a separate monitor, and I have to have it enlarged so much because the monitor is a little smaller. Oh, actually, hold on. Here was what I really needed on the front. So let's just get rid of this whole front. Here we go. I think you can do it like this and then repeat this one. Yeah, here we go. That was what I was looking for earlier with like the big windows. I knew it was somewhere. I'm probably gonna try to find some Franken Sprite or just tile, whatever. Something better for the flooring at some point during the week if I can. I try to do a lot of stuff myself, even though I'm not good at it, and I think that's what everybody needs to do. Like, it's hard. It's easy to go, well, I can't Sprite or I can't do anything, but like there's a lot of stuff you can do. Recolors are easy. Recolors are very easy. Taking a sprite and just editing it until you get something that kind of works. I think that looks better as a vent than the one I have on here. So let's switch that vent. Yeah, it looks a little less dead. Maybe a potted plant. I don't know if there's ever any potted plants in convenience stores, but it makes it look a little more alive and less dead. I'm having trouble with because everything in a convenience store has a purpose. They don't have like a whole bunch of just clutter sitting around that's not food, like stuff on shelves. Maybe they're reading a book. Yeah, I agree on the taller door frames, but actually what I plan to do is use 1.5 tile door frames, but I haven't made them. I just need to make them. So I just need to like make the black top go out to like not there. The other thing that I always think is with 2 tile high, you can do a little bit more with like going around it with. So like if your door went all the way to the top, you could auto tile this where it has the edge on it. But I think also it makes no sense for it to go all the way to the top because it's not how real doors go. All right, so I've done that one. It's not great. It needs a lot of work, but it has. But one of the things that I really find you can do when you're mapping and you start to learn is you can map out something and then you'll notice what exactly it is you need to find. Because I'm able to find, because I'm using like MV style tiles, I'm able to find all the things that I'm looking for on the forums somewhere. But now I know what I need. I need something like a cash register. I need probably some more food variety, which is probably I can pull from different tile sets and put on stuff. I can probably actually edit these shelves to put different foods on them. So you can have more variety in these shelves, also more variety in this and this. Let's see, what else could I do? I could maybe like some little signs would be something cool to have. But now I know what I feel like I'm missing. And also, I can pull up pictures of actual convenience stores and reference what kind of stuff is sitting out that I'm not thinking of. So like making your map, and you don't have to always just use only what's in these. You can start thinking about what next, what do I need to try to find, what can I request maybe. A lot of people on the forums will take requests and they're very good at it. Just don't, make proper requests. Always make really well detailed requests. If no one picks it up, don't get mad. Sometimes people just aren't interested in certain things. Like a cash register. Who really wants to spread a cash register? Somebody might, because they go, hey, that's cool, and that's like something we could need. But you can't just expect people to do it. So what I want to do is go to making the outdoor section right here. So we're in a new map. And let's use Sci-Fi Outer. No loop. I need to put the new tiles in this one too. Same with before where I was talking about, like always just put in a bigger size than you actually need. Hello, Broman Legion, Broman. That's kind of funny, actually. I like that. I realized what you're thinking there with Broman Legion. All right. So first of all, though, what we can do is start with this front of the building. If I remember correctly, that's in the same. Yeah, it's in the same place on my tile set. So we already know what the front of this building looks like. And we can kind of go above it with some other stuff. Let's see. This, yeah, that's what we need to go above it with, I think. Except for not make mistakes. I love like pun names, and I think that's a good pun name, the Broman Legion. Alright, so that one, I don't think that's the right roof for it. I need like a flat roof. Maybe something like that. I'm gonna need to, oh, there's some shift clipping to do. So let's see, what I need it to do would be, sometimes you just need to draw some stuff out so that you can shift click with it. Alright, so I have that, and I need this. I forgot to, there we go. I wonder if maybe it would look better if I did without that. Yeah, I think, well, I don't know. I like that little panini. Yeah, I think it looked better with that. I think maybe, though, I need to grab that like that. Yeah, and then, I mean, the main thing is I think I need a door here. I wonder if I have a too-high door somewhere. I don't know. Let's see. Put a door. And it's another situation where I need a upper door frame. Let's just put in a filler tile there to have it something sitting there. So it doesn't look. Oh. Need to remember to use shift and not control. Hitting the right buttons. Again, streaming makes you dumb. The moment you start streaming, your intelligence drops. All right, let's pull in. Need to do the same thing I did before because I do not have the A5 tile, and I'll probably use the A5 tiles direct from the MV Trinity stuff. It is quiet. Somebody say something, man. I don't want to talk to myself. No one wants to talk to me. I get it. Let's see. Did I not hit? Okay, so I want MV Trinity resource pack, tile sets, and I need G outside 5. A5. G outside A5. I don't know why I forgot to import these before, or I forgot to do them when I was doing my database. But we all make mistakes. Apparently it's not just streaming that makes me dumb. I'm just dumb sometimes. Also, we need like a sidewalk. That's another thing we need. And I think that's again another thing. Is this like a sidewalk here? It would be if it had edges. It needs like edging. And I can do that. Again, that's another thing where I can just go in and add just like a dark border, slightly darker border around each of these, and you could get like an actual sidewalk. Oh, there's a sidewalk. Not a great looking, like it looks dingy. When I said great, it's tiled perfectly. It's just that looks like a really bad part of town, but that may be where they are. Pizza, that sounds good. I haven't had dinner yet. I would have had dinner about when I started the stream, so I'm gonna eat after I finish. So another hour and 10 minutes, and then I'll eat. I don't know what I'm getting yet. Probably some kind of fast food. I don't want to cook at 9 o'clock. All right. I cook. My wife's making fun of me. She says I don't cook. I cook, just not as often as I should. Let's see. We can put like a... Okay, now let's get a street. I think this is the base for the street. We're gonna add more detail, like more street. I know there's lines and stuff in my DE tiles and stuff like that. The sidewalk edging right beneath it. Did I miss it? Because I was using... Let's see. How was I using? Oh, these are the street ones. Right here, I think. That's street. Yeah. Let's... And then there's like the edge of the street. Oh, I see. Oh, cool, cool, cool. You're right. I'm just blind. I'm blind. It's okay. So like, there's the edge of the... And I'm again on my... Oh, I see what it... I see how they do it with their... And then the sidewalk is that style. There's the... Huh. Okay, but it's got the little linies. I think it's supposed to be like this, and then... That? Yeah, there we go. There's the sidewalk. You're correct. The sidewalk existed. I'm just blind and didn't see it. And it has like the little edge. Technically, it looks like you're supposed to do it like this. Let me zoom my whole thing down. Get rid of this up here because it's unnecessary. Fill in that, which I think this is going to change in a second. You're supposed to do this. Wait. Did it again, where I forget to change tools. Yeah, that's how it's supposed to go. Learning to use. Here's the thing. I have not done an incredible amount of making stuff in RPG Maker MV. So I actually had, and especially not sci-fi. So I never used the sci-fi tiles much. So I don't know where everything is quite as well as I did with all the fantasy stuff. So some of this is a new experience to me. Sidewalk is a light gray one. No, but the problem is that the light gray doesn't have the... Like, see, the light gray doesn't have the edge. I like that better, because it has the lines like a sidewalk should have. Now, I might do the thing of going through and changing... and editing this so that it's not as dark and it's a little bit lighter. Just go into Photoshop and fix it. The sidewalk parts, I know this A5 is from Trinity, but some of the stuff like that is the same in Trinity and MV, so maybe from MV. I didn't do a whole lot of editing on the A1 through A5 tiles. But this set is from Trinity, but like I said, some of the Trinity stuff is directly from MV anyway, so it... I mean, I think it looks fine, but I think I am going to go in with an editor, like with Photoshop, and lighten these sidewalk tiles. Okay. And then that'll leave this the same. Let me go. There's a little hard to see them, but I know in one of these there are the road lines. Unless I have the wrong... Oh, here we go. Here's the road lines. They're just really, really hard to see when you're not on the... because they're just white. There's another thing they I probably would do is do some editing to make some yellow lines, because those are too close. Like, I want every other. Is because I'm used to the US where both white and yellow lines are used on roads. I don't remember if Japan uses both white and yellow lines. They might. I know in I've been there and I've seen their streets, but I don't know if they use yellow lines. But that's another thing where you can just take these, do some hue changing, just add some yellow, and use the same things in just color. All right, so that gets that. Now we need to like add some more buildings. Makes a good looking building, maybe. I almost feel like you should use that as just like a layer and not the whole thing. Let's look at some other ones. Also, some of them are neat, but I think the scaling is weird. Like, that's cool, but the scaling is a little bit odd. I think this red brick. Make it. I might drag the whole thing. Zoom out a little bit. I drag the whole thing down so I can make some taller buildings and so you still be able to see the top. Use the right tool. They do use yellow lines. I've been there and I can't remember. I was wondering if that was why they didn't have yellow, but I haven't been there in a little over a year. Mostly because pandemic. No one's going anywhere. Yeah, the yellow, like, the way that the lines are done makes sense, so I wouldn't be surprised if it was the same. Grab some windows. All right, so I need to make it either a little taller or a little. So I'm doing one between. Because one thing that I know about buildings tend to be same height for most floors. That's not universally true though. Sometimes you can have floors of different heights. Yeah, it's always that thing you have to memorize, like all the different ways that the lines are used in different places. In fact, actually in the US, some states have different things that different lines mean. Even just going from state to state. Like, it's pretty consistent, but not incredibly consistent. And it's really frustrating that it's not incredibly consistent. I need that taller doors. I need to just make them. I'm gonna like... This is my like noticing to myself that I need to make the taller doors. I'm just gonna stack them like that. The resources I'm using for maps are from MV and MV Trinity. I like the amount of variety that's available in MV and MV Trinity. The MZ tiles are good. Just more variety. Plus, I can also do things like, I'm probably going to go in on the forums. I don't know if anyone's ever looked at, she goes by Panda Maru, her stuff. It's really good MZ based tiles, and so like I can, since I'm using this, I can actually go in and use their tiles as well. I'm probably gonna pull some because I think they already had some that I thought were really cool. Right now though, I'm just like, I don't have this, like this, I'm working on doing all the roughing in first, because like right now this is not the most interesting map, it's just really basic. But as I go on, I'll add more and more detail. Yeah, Panamaru's tile sets are very good, and since they're all like MV based, and I'm using, which I'm sure that she'll make some MZ style ones as well, but because they have that base, it means I can use them in this game, which is really nice. Make it a little slightly more wide. Yeah, they match the RTP very good. I always laugh because like we always call it the RTP, but it's not what it's called. Like the RTP ended with I think VXAce was the last one that had an RTP. They're technically default resources, but we just all in the RM community continue to call them that. Because why not? And see what is in the MV Trinity resource pack for MZ. If you look at most of the stuff I'm using right now is MV Trinity stuff. I can just, some of this is an MV, but I have a lot of these materials are from Trinity and not MV. And these are just like chain. Yeah, it's not a runtime package anymore. They're just default resources, but we just call them the runtime package anyway. Alright, I remember I have some like trash cans. I think I should make an edge of one more building over here though. And then I'll size my map down. And then we'll start doing some touch-ups and adding more stuff to it. Yeah, the MV Trinity resource pack has just so much stuff in it. It's hard to even like comprehend how much stuff it has in it. Like I could count through it all, but it's just so much stuff. It is easier to say RTP. And like I said, it's not correct, but who cares, right? Actually, I may use like some buildings, you know, have like two different. Nah, it didn't really look right. It's not looking what I wanted to. Maybe the lower section should be. You sometimes get. Why does that look so bizarre? Like some buildings at like the floor level have like a different wall, but it doesn't look good right here because of it's not reading as a wall. It was reading like this was a ceiling to me. But we experiment and we learn. We learn what works and what doesn't. And let me put my stand in. Oh, yeah. I made a dumb. I tried to just like steal it by right clicking and that don't work. Because it overwrites the layer 1 as well. But like I said, I'm gonna fix these later. I'm gonna make another piece to do the taller doors. but I'm just like putting it there as a placeholder until I do. I think these actually need to be one so I can put some windows. That's a bit low. I think these are higher. The problem with that is I feel like okay, I wanted like windows that didn't have, it felt like those windows were, I'm trying to think of the word for it. All right, let's bring this ceiling. Oh. Like the trim on the windows didn't match what was going on with the rest of the building. All right, I'm gonna cut the map off right here. So this is 34, which means that's 35 wide, and 18, so that's 19, 35, 19. Okay, that's 35, 18. I was almost correct. But you always want to be like bigger and not smaller, because if you cut smaller, you have much more problems. So another thing I want to check before I do anything else is, so in my database, and I forgot to mention this on the list of things that I changed, I switched this to 1280 720, and I cannot remember the what the size of a map you need minimum for that to actually show. Like, I could do the math, but it's easier just to do this. So yeah. I'm using 8 direction from Visistella. So, and like I said, I haven't done set pass abilities yet, so I can just walk on everything. I actually want to do, so I'm going to probably do an X pass ability on this line so that you can't jaywalk. Jaywalking is bad. You shouldn't jaywalk. Granted, I do it all the time because there's not enough crossings where I'm from. So, okay, this is a big enough map. Now let's look at adding details. So this looks a little bit better. Some small windows up here. Or they could like some vents. I love the Visistella plugins. I know that like some people have a thing where they don't want them to become like the standard that everyone has to use, but they're just very good. And there's a lot of plugin creators who can make equally good stuff, and they should. More stuff is better. And if it's written correctly, it'll all be compatible anyway. So there's sometimes where like two plugins, even if written completely correctly, are going to like conflict, but it's only if they're directly changing the exact same things for the where it doesn't work well together. Oh, it looks like I made a mistake. So when I was cutting these all together, I tried to make sure that there were no duplicates, but I see I have a few duplicates. Those two are on that tile set and on that one. So a quick way you can do this, though, what I did where I cut everything together, if you don't have as many, like, it's easy just to add something from a different tile set to D&E, since most of the default resources don't have D&Es, they just have BC. And you can easily grab a different B or C from another set to add in. Alright, let's see. Need some, like, signs and stuff like that. I know there was some stuff that will like go on a roof. I know that there's stuff in here. And throw some garbage in this hallway here, or alleyway. A water tower up here. Put some billboards up around I'm gonna put them up, but I'm not sure where I'm gonna put them yet, so I'm gonna like jump to some other things. Use the cars, but like I kind of have the problem. I think the cars, like I would like to see those resized and then touched up so that they're actually like the right size for a car. Like the outside part of a. This is another one where I feel like it needs to be adjusted a little bit. There's let's see. Put in these. I feel like this is like there is too high and there is too low. Probably better to be too low with these. But I might go again and adjust those too. And it is one of those things that's really good about using Photoshop. You can just open, or any other GIMP, whatever you want to use. You can open these up and just move them around a little bit. Make them fit what you want out of it. 27 by 15? That sounds about right. I just can't remember because I didn't want to do the math. So I got some vents on top. And actually put like a... Alright, and then we do some shift clicking to... Oh my god. Did I find the... Perfect. But these, you can have them on the side walls too. I've seen them. I used to put stuff like that in all the time. Like I used to do the stuff like this in real life. I worked construction for a very long time. But I think it should be like halfway. It should be like right there, like built into the wall. But you're right, it's usually not like on the front of a building. So usually you would see it on the back of a building, but we don't have any backs. These are all fronts. Oh, I was gonna put like a shift clicking. You're probably correct on manholes. They maybe should be in the street. I do see sometimes great... I've seen them both, right? Hold on a second. Hey, Alicia. Talking to my wife for a second. Hold on. I'm just going to ask her opinion on this one. They're manhole covers on sidewalk, right? I feel like I've seen manhole covers on sidewalks in downtown Athens, where we live. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen manhole covers on sidewalks. It's not abnormal. Like they usually are on streets, but I've and I like I said, I know I've seen grates in sidewalks. I know because I always talk about how dangerous it is to walk downtown in the place I live in high heels because someone's just going to trip and die on those. Maybe not die, but let's see. I wish I could put like something on the curb specifically, but that's like a little too specific. I'm mostly just trying to find those things that you would see outside, and I don't have this organized, so it's not the easiest thing to do. I know I put some trash cans at the bottom of one of these. Like just garbage cans and stuff like that. Okay, my brain. Is that the dumpster? This from the front, and I feel like I should have like the side, but I'll put it there anyway. I am going to I'm going to leave my house for the first time in forever, and I'm going to take pictures of manhole covers on sidewalks. I am 99% sure I've seen it. There's always like stuff like cracks and stuff I can put in. It's again that situation I was talking about earlier where one of the things you can do by like as you're mapping, you can start to realize all the things that you need new. Like what kind of stuff you would like to do it. Like what kind of extra little pieces you need in your tile sets, and then you can go try to find those. I feel like I should have made this alleyway the same width as this one so that I could do more stuff like that. Chill Kaiju, you could, I mean, depending on where you are in your project at MV, you might be able to just transfer it directly over. Like, how many, are you using a bunch of plugins? If you're using a bunch of plugins, then it may be a little bit difficult. If you're not using any plugins, you can just import directly into MZ. And the new things in the editor, there's like some new things to learn, but it's not like tons and tons of new stuff to learn. Like we can have some pipes somewhere, but I don't know where. Maybe a pipe coming up. Okay. No, that doesn't look right. My problem is that like I'm doing nothing but the fronts of buildings facing a sidewalk, and there's not as much stuff on that. Like the only place I can put a lot of stuff is over here. And I still know that there are trash cans somewhere in this B through E, and I am like missing it every single time. Like I just remember, I remember copy pasting them when I was in Photoshop. So why can I not find them? There they are. Okay. So like put one of these back here with this. Like maybe just like all together. I call it MZ because that is what I am told is supposed to be the name of it. Also because apparently some people started calling it MZ first, and it kept having to be corrected. Are you talking MZ or MV? Because they MZ MV sounds so similar when spoken. Is that like a? Oh, that's a good one. That's a good thing to add, especially right in front of this convenience store. One of those little. That's like a newspaper box, I think. Hold on, we're gonna do the thing where I lean really close into my screen because I can't see very well. That is indeed, I think, a newspaper box. If it's not, it's close enough. Ooh, a fire hydrant. There's another thing that is on streets. That's not the proper place to put it, but that doesn't look right either. That okay. So I'm gonna place it. And this is another situation where I now know that I need to do an edit and move that up just a little bit. Just a little bit, so it's not looking wrong. I know there's also like these food stands, and I feel like these would be cool to put out if I made more room for them. The newspaper boxes, I've seen them. There's a couple of, like, mostly it's though they're not really, they don't, I don't know. I know I've seen them, and it may just be that they haven't been taken down yet. Yeah, I have no idea if you guys can hear my dog, who's being kind of, you know, obnoxious right now and barking, but he's far away from this room, so maybe you couldn't hear him. What is the max size a tile sheet can be? I mean, these are all max size, and I cannot for the life of me remember the exact size. It's 16 by 16 tiles, maybe? Is that correct? Yeah, I was trying to think of tiles by tiles. It's 16 by 16, I'm pretty sure, is the tile set size. Like, for how many tiles? So that many per tile set, and then you have B through E, so a lot of numbers. 4 times 16 times 16 is the number of B through E tiles you can have. Which is 64 times 16, whatever that is. Yeah, but I didn't want to touch into the A1 size, the A2, A1, A2, A3, and A4 ones, because that one's more complex because of the way auto tiles are done. The number of tiles you get out of it's a little different. How many tiles can you put in one sheet? It's 16 tiles by 16 tiles. That's like how many can go in one sheet. Except for we're not talking about A tiles because those are auto tiles. All tile sets are the same size. Well, all the B through E's are the same size. You can't vary size. It's not like icon sets where you can just keep making them longer and longer. Let's see. This has that like an extra little room up, roof access here. Maybe something up there where some people would have been doing something. Actually make this a little wider. Back to doing some shift clicking. You could actually avoid doing shift clicking on that by like if what I did, I could draw on layer A or layer 1, just draw the ceiling, and then draw all of this extra stuff on layer 2. Which I'm very tempted to do, honest. Let's do this. See, I can do that, and then on layer... Okay, so that's automatic. That's layer 1. I did this wrong, but that's fine. So I'm going to grab that and then switch to layer 2. And see, I don't have to do shift clicking because this is all drawn under it. How does just people saying Z make you that upset? It's just a word. Okay. Ooh, some tires. That's always like just some garbage. Just some garbage laying around. I have been to some cities. I know that's what it's like. It's very disappointing, by the way. Big cities that, like, Tokyo is the cleanest big city I've ever been to. Very, very clean. That cannot be said of every big city I've been to. There are some... Downtown LA is not a clean place. Actually, no part of LA I was in was a clean place. Let's see. None of that's really outside stuff. Like, I put together a lot of things, so there's a lot of inside stuff on this tile set too. But it's kind of like really useful to do that because sometimes you need something that's just slightly on a different tile set. Alright. I wish like they had some opposite ones on this, but that's fine. Let's get some sign. Nope, that's not where it goes. That, yeah. Yes, the American English is Z. And I am American, and I would normally use it if it wasn't for what I've been told. I mean, they don't make me say it. I can say MZ on stream. No one cares. I actually get more humor out of just calling it MZ because Oh, I was gonna put something up here. I was gonna put like a bench up here. Maybe some people sit up here sometimes when they take their break. And I might use it later, right? Because this is where the main character works during the day. Well, I mean, in the trailer, it just says it has the letter Z, which is pronounced Zed in other parts of the world. Oh, it's like a newspaper stand place. Another one of those things that you don't see. I imagine, like, you do see it in, like, New York, where those exist, but nowhere else. I feel like I need to, hold on. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna make this one higher. I feel like what I need is this to be one wider so I can do a little bit more with it. Though that makes these off center now, and I hate that. Alright, well these are off center. I can just adjust that in Photoshop later. Just like I'm going to adjust the fire hydrant over later. Yeah, I like referring to it as MZ. So, also the owner of Digica is Canadian, so he's Japanese Canadian. So he says MZ. I know what they say. The people at Katakawa say. I've never heard them pronounce it. Alright. This is like the least exciting stream today, because mapping is mostly about just hunting through your tiles and like, oh, does this work? No. Does this work? Nah. Nope, that doesn't work either. I think once we get into like the systems and what I'm using, it'll be more exciting. But hopefully people are having fun anyway. I'm having pretty much some fun. Look, no one knows what happens in that alley. That may be where Batman's parents died. They've died enough times already. They say the moneymaker. Look, I will just point out, Katakawa makes so much money from so many things. Katakawa is a very large company. We are incredibly happy to be working with them on like RPG Maker, but while they do love RPG Maker being a success, and I do too, they don't really need it to be a success. It doesn't have to be. They make so many things. So many great anime that you have probably watched. Katakawa was involved in it. They publish a lot of... That sign doesn't look right. They publish a lot of manga. Big, huge media conglomerate in Japan. Probably the huge media conglomerate in Japan. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Skepsis. Like I said, it's one of those things of like... I feel like I'm just sitting here looking at stuff and going, does that work? And putting it down, going, not really. Not yet. Let's do one more thing. Try this. I think that's a lot of RPG Maker stuff anyway, right? You see, does this work? Test. No, it didn't work. Does this work? No. Yep. No. Maybe. Another water tower over here. Like, yeah, they care about RPG Maker. Like, just, you know, like we do. We care a lot about RPG Maker. But I don't think they would call it their moneymaker. They own From Software, guys. The whole Dark Souls Bloodborne series, like they own that. They own Armored Core. I do not work for Katakawa. I work for a company called Digica, who is the international publisher for RPG Maker. Katakawa is the developer. Though we have helped them on dev side sometimes. as well as just like normal publishing work. But they didn't want to do the international publishing because it's a little bit more tricky. On top of that, it's just like not their specialty, right? But we are the publishers for RPG Maker. Publish internationally and in Japan for RPG. So we have dedicated marketing team and all that kind of stuff. I think these windows would look good on second floor here. I so often like look at a window in this, and my problem with it is the border. I wouldn't, if I was putting this up in real life, I would not use that color border with that color wall. Like the style of windows is right. I think the other problem is that like I might go in and edit and fix this because I think because they were done at different times. Like the way the window bits on this, the glass looks on this versus this. I like this darker glass look. So I may go in and edit all of these glass to have like the darker glass colors where it doesn't look so bright. You know what? I'm gonna open a notepad file. Here's another thing. Don't just think you'll remember stuff, because you won't. So, things I need to change. Center the... Here's just going to say reposition. I'm going to list everything I want to reposition. So, I want to reposition the fire hydrant. I want to reposition the... I'm pointing at. You can't see me pointing at the screen. That doesn't help. The manhole covers. Yeah, an awning on those windows would be cool too. I could probably pull that off of another sprite. And then, like, color change. Windows. Darker. I want the darker windows. Sidewalk. Lighter. Let's see. Was there anything else that I remember on this map? I'm going to flip over to the other map in a second so that I can see if there's anything else where I was like, oh, that needs to be adjusted. There was that window unit thing, but I don't know if I really need to do that. Yeah, the light ones are supposed to be interior, but like I have it on this set anyway, so I'm going to like use it for both. It does make sense to use them as interior. The lighter ones, because I just jammed everything together. Let's see. So that's some things to do. Let's zoom over to the other map that I had. Okay, so it needs some kind of flooring. So tile flooring. Let's see, new tiles. Tile flooring. Can't spell. Shelf variety. I can use some of the other. What I was gonna do is like take everything off these shelves, sprite and like, you know, color behind it and try to fill it in and make it look good, and then take like other food items from other parts of the RTD and like just stick them on there. So shelf variety. I wanted some more variety on in the not freezer, fridge. I'll remember what that means, surely. I'm gonna call these new tiles Franken. Those I'm probably gonna Franken sprite together. Then I'm gonna do new tiles. Find. These are ones I just need to see if somebody's made them, and if not, request them. So I want a cash register. Oh, and I also wanted to reposition the wall phone, reposition the sign next to doors. Also in my Franken, I need to do all doors. Though I'm pretty sure someone's done those already, so I may actually use the find for that one. So let's see. Was there something else that I was thinking maybe would be good for in here? But I think that's like the main things to look at right now. So now I have my text file full of stuff I need to like look for and edit. But making this wider means I can use some of the other stuff that I was like, that would be cool, but you'd have to be wider to do it. Like, I couldn't put something like this here because it was not positioned correctly like that. Let's like put it maybe there. And with those darker, when those windows are darker, it'll be better. And I can shove, like, I can make this part star, and I can put an NPC back there. Yeah, Vistastella, Sam. Well, I mean, there's the Vistastella tile set that I think Archaea made it. I also think I'm saying Archaea right. I don't know if I am or not. And then I can use stuff like this as well. And put like an NPC beside it and stuff like that. So let's see. I put it just like right there. Put an NPC beside it. Talk to. I'm also planning on doing like, one of the things I was going to do with the NPCs is, if you ever played the game Tokyo Mirage Session, and people will know that I talk about this game a lot, because legitimately I think it's a very, very good game. But on top of being very good, it had a lot of really neat ideas. What I'm going to do is go, I would use the character generator for it, but I have no way of cutting out like all the details. So I'm just going to go and be like, no hair. I guess I could cut from that. Take no clothing, and then like do, where's skin tone? Face. I'm gonna do like different skin tones. I'm gonna do like, is RP Maker popular in Japan? More popular probably than here, but the most popular country outside of Japan and the US is actually Brazil, which is an interesting thing. What I'm gonna do is have like completely featureless and just like solid colors. So like so like when you see a sprite and it's just red with an outline, you know it's just a non-important NPC. And that way you can have like a bunch of different NPCs walking around, different colors, red, blue, green, and they just walk back and forth and have them all on through so that you can walk through them. If you've ever played, like I said, if you ever played Tokyo Mirage Sessions, they did that with all unimportant NPCs to fill out scenes where a cityscape looked like it was busy, but you knew who was actually important to talk to. And I really liked that because, one, it means less assets for me to create, but also it makes it easy for the player to tell who's important and who's not. But I really liked that look. Tokyo Mirage Sessions did a lot of things right, in my opinion. And if you have not played it, the Switch version is really good. Let's see. What else can we add in on this map? I'm probably going to not do anything else other than finishing working on this map. And it's not even going to be finished. I'm probably going to do more over the weekend on it. But I was going to stop at 9 o'clock. I'm also going to show you something else I set up because I am... What is the worst thing, right? Oh, a bus stop. Oh, a bus stop would be good. Just a place to wait for the bus. I wonder if there's a little sign that goes with it. I don't think that was the right place for it, though. I think it needed to be, like, kind of maybe over here, but not next to the fire hydrant. I'll just move the fire hydrant. Let me get off of auto, get back to auto. I'm just going to remove the fire hydrant for right now. But the, so one thing I want to do and stress very much, it's something that if you knew who Grandma Deb was, constantly said, is always back up your projects. So I'm working from one folder, and then I'm going to, after I'm finished for the night, I'm going to copy this folder to another folder. And then that folder backs up to my Google Drive automatically. So I have it in two different places on my hard drive, One on my C drive, one on my D drive, and then one on drive, and hopefully between all of that, I can manage to not lose the project. Ooh, I think like people are messy. No one cleans up here. Let's put a little bit of just some junk. Just some junk up here. What is this supposed to be? I can't tell. That's like a little table. Something, maybe. Once again, lean into the screen. I don't know what that's supposed to be. But yeah, back up your projects. Back up your projects all the time. Because what's going to happen is you're not going to do it. So, like, maybe something gets corrupted. That's bad. I feel like this is like some kind of phone thing that exists in Japan that would never exist in the US. And I'm also going to save multiple copies of, so that like I can step back and go backwards. Grandma Deb is a wonderful person. I talked to her a good bit back many years ago. She is everyone's RPG Maker grandma, and that's wonderful. Probably one of the older people on our forums. Wonderful person, though. I like her quite a lot. Like, stuff like this can also be put in place. Like, maybe there's some construction going on down here. So, like, I think there's a road cone somewhere, too. Try and find that road cone. This kind of... Again, it's the whole thing of just trying to put something interesting on your map so it doesn't look boring. But, you know, I also think people overdo it sometimes. Like, I think that you don't actually need to fill your maps completely. I've had a lot of... Yeah, that looks good. Right there. Like, go back and play Chrono Trigger. And no one will ever say that Chrono Trigger is not a wonderful, good-looking game for especially for its time, and it aged really well. There's great pixel graphics. Those maps are really not that busy. They're not. A lot of, like, you know, it's ground. That ground is ground. That's fine. You don't have to put stuff all over it. But RPG Maker devs get this obsession with just, like, piling on. Like, even this, I think I probably went a little too far. I probably should cut some of this out. But they get so obsessed with piling on more and more detail to the point that it doesn't even look good anymore. Or it does, but it's just disjointed. But disjointed is also why I talked about, like these windows. I also want a border on these windows. I know these were meant to be inside windows, and that's why I'm, like, not liking them as outside windows, but I like the size. And I think they just need, like, an outside border. And then darken them up. Hello, Sniper for Life. Did you just get here? You have showed up near the end of the stream, which is okay. You can always watch the VOD later. I'm not putting the like putting an awning. I could probably steal the awning off of this tile here and edit it to go over some of these windows. Or maybe like that's like a too small, I think. But Photoshop is your friend. Everyone learn to use Photoshop or GIMP or something. You may not be able to do you may not be able to make your own stuff, but you can take other people, like you can take things that like the default tiles, you can change you can like cut things together. Maybe here we go. Another cart. Yeah, you just have to look around. You see large empty places. I think that cart was too much too. I think this is a good start. I really feel like most of the things, once I fix the things I was talking about to match things, I think that this map will look a lot better. Also, like adding in NPCs. Once you add in NPCs, it changes things, right? Like right now, it looks a little empty because there's no one walking around on it. But as I was talking about putting in just through NPCs that you can walk through and having them walk back and forth, like, you know, across and down the sidewalk. And once you have that in, it's going to look a lot different. All right. What do I want to do? What do I want to do? I know I wanted to do a world map. But I'm really not sure whether I do or not. Old versions of Paint Shop Pro. I've never used Paint Shop Pro, but like any editor that can support alpha transparency is fine. I don't know if old Paint Shop Pro has alpha transparency. I use both Photoshop and then I use Flip Studio Paint, I think is the name of it. Yeah, you could add cars, but I'm my problem with the cars is like they're well, let's see, I can find them on here. They're well sprited. The art is good. I just don't like how small they are. Look how small. That's a tiny car. I think like a the problem is like you do something like this and all this has to be clumped together because that's how it would be. Oh, this is a good one. I didn't think about this. Because these you can put at like regular intervals because that's how they would be put up in real life. So you can do like anything human built is just really tends to be very, very patterned. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go find like stuff like bigger cars and stuff. Actually, let's add that to the list. Let me add it to the list of just finding bigger cars. I do think like I almost feel like these because they're like on, you know, they're kind of like on the sidewalk thing, and I don't know if they almost seem too bright. Like they would look good with the like on the normal like in grassy areas, and like it may like look better once the sidewalk is lightened up because I was gonna do that. I felt like they were a little too bright, but I think with the sidewalk brightened up, it'll pop better. Like right now, like this sidewalk being so dark is really the contrast is not good. Like it's too close to the road color, and it's about the same darkness as this wall right here. Like you see these two walls to get next to each other, the contrast is really good, and there's like this bright separation. I think bright separation is important in a lot of stuff like this. I know you like GIMP, T, but I really don't. Unless they have improved it dramatically from the last time I used it. But I also pay for Photoshop, so it's fine. And I know not everyone's going to pay for Photoshop. It kind of sucks to pay every month for something. Actually, that's the window that matches this, isn't it? I'm an idiot. Let's get rid of these windows. That's the outside window for this one. And these are the outside windows for this one. I'm dumb. Oh, that looks better. Look at me not being... I'm putting them in the wrong place, but I'm not dumb. I knew it was looking wrong for some reason. I forgot they had the... Yeah, I know. It is that thing of like... You know, you don't want to pay a subscription for a program. The reason I do it... I put that on the wrong layer, didn't I? The reason I do it is because I use it for work. So when you're using it for work, it becomes like a justified expense of your job, which is very different from, you know, just paying for it because you want it. It's the same thing with I used to pay for everything from Adobe because I really like InDesign, and I really like and here's the outside window for here. Man, I feel dumb. It's fine. So I don't need the darker windows. I have those. I do. You know what? I still think I want to go in on these and adjust the. What I want to do is that border, the trim for it. I want to match it to the trim on this. Let's go to our list of things to do. So Sidewalk still needs to be lighter. The windows trim match. Yeah, using it for work. Once you use it for work, like I said, it becomes a business expense. Like, you know, and business expenses are different from personal expenses, even though they shouldn't be, because we should just enjoy, you know, we have money. Like, if you want to have something to enjoy it, if you have the money, spend it. It's, I don't know, man. I'm getting off topic by far. So let's see, reposition. I kind of think this this bench as well needs to go up to go against that wall. I also miss using Illustrator. I miss using Illustrator a lot, but I don't use it for work, so it's not. I can't justify paying it because I don't use it often enough. It's really what it's about. How often are you going to use it? All right. Okay, probably not a bed outside. Wait, what are that's like the little bumpies. I wonder if I know sometimes they have those like at the edge of, but I don't think that's really like the right thing to do. I too would prefer that Photoshop switched back to a non-subscription version, but it is what it is. It is the method they have decided to go with. And Adobe does make good products, so at least I can't say anything about that part. I do like their products a lot. There's another thing. I didn't say this at the beginning of the stream, and I meant to say it because it's part of the format thing. Sometimes I'm not going to talk about game dev stuff. Like, you know, I'm going to just most of the time, but sometimes it's just going to get on other subjects because I intend to have fun and relax with this stream. And so we will talk about other things too. Like, I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to eat for dinner once I get done with this. I do not know yet. And I'm going to think about that while I try to find... There was something I wanted to add, and I'm like not remembering what it is now. Going through these tile sets. Please tell me everyone else has this thing where they just like scroll through their tile sets over and over and over again while mapping. Just back and forth. You forget what you have. Let's see. I want to move the fire hydrant up. I feel like the problem I'm having here is like that should be where a tree is. Let's do some. Okay, so that's on. This needs to be on 4. I think. No, that needs to be on 3. And so I need to get this tree. I need to delete that, and I need to put this tree on 4. I swear. I had it. I had that on 3. Let's get back to layer 3. I had the little warning thing, maybe? Oh, I remember what it was. I'll put it here now. That's what I'm gonna do. Right now, I'm going with 1280 720. I think it's a really good. The thing is, though, depending on your tile size, like if you're using plugins and stuff to change your tile size, I actually think one of the best sizes you can go with is 640 360. Because you can easily scale up to 1280 720 and 1920 1080 with whole numbers. But 48 by 48 tile size doesn't really work very well with that. Okay, it was on B. Pretty sure the little, here we go. I'm gonna put it here. Yeah, then you find the thing you're looking for and it's wrong. That's like I said. I just put them down and then mark that I need to change it. It's the only thing to do. I also need to go through and do passability on all these tiles, as I have not yet. Like I said, you don't have to. You can just get everything in so that you know what you're doing, and then do the passability as you go. I can go through and find the passability on all these tiles, and some of these tiles are going to change. Like I'm going to be that manhole cover. I'm going to reposition it so that it can be in the center there. Best practice for layers to put your tiles on. I actually leave it on automatic 90% of the time. And the only time I use layers is if I when I need something. Like one thing that I think is really nice with layers is, see this area up here. This is an area where I use layers. So instead of shift clicking all of this stuff right here, I put this on layer 1 and then just drew this on layer 2. So there is the thing with Clip Studio Paint is actually very good. I do like it. So I use it for some other stuff, but actually not for RM things. But by default, how automatic works is the most of tile A, like your floors, your walls, and stuff like that, goes on layer 1. Stuff like this, where it has transparency on tile A, those go on layer 2. And then layer 3, these go, whatever B through E tile you put down, it goes on layer 3, and then if you put another one on top of it, it goes on layer 4. Can I discuss layers next week? You know what? I will just talk about layers in depth next week, because I use them as an emergency thing. Because I think some people, they want to always do everything with layers, and I don't. I just want to auto tile. I want to do automatic most of the time, and just do some touchy up stuff with layers. And also, layers are most useful for me for what if I wanted to change a tile behind another tile. So I'm going to show you now. I know you're probably pulling up the... So I have this set up. This is my folder where I'm doing all the stuff. I have... Actually, why don't I show you a lot of things that I've been doing? So this is where I've been going through the menu and just recording icons numbers for what each thing is. I'm not done yet. There's some stuff that still doesn't have the right icons on it. This is just an empty file, apparently. No, it's not. There we go. This is just a whole bunch of stuff I have about how my battle system is going to work, because I haven't really gotten really deep into it, but I have a basic idea. A list of just skills. This is the most inefficient way, by the way, to record all this stuff, but I do it. This is just all assets that I'm working with, where I put all my stuff in it. Here is an edit to the core files that I really need to actually create a plugin out of, but Chloe from the This is Stella Discord told me how to do this. And what it does is, so normally when you're looking at your skills in the game, you they are listed in the order you learned them in. I wanted them to list in the order that they're in the database. So one of the things that I'm doing is see you have this, and then you have a better version of that skill. And certain weapons will power up certain skills. this is also something that someone Trihan, who was here earlier, taught me how to do, which is now useless because I can do it a different way. So, and then what else is in the folder? I think I had like just no, that's the Visicella folder. So I also have all the this a bunch of stuff, icons from there's a meme randomly in that folder that I saved in there for some reason, but these are all like icons, the user interface stuff, all of the terms of use from everything, which is good to keep on. But anyway, so I'm gonna save my project, and then I'm going to copy it here, paste it here, tell it to replace when it asks me. If it ever asks me, my computer is just not wanting to do. There we go. Replace the files. And this folder that this is in automatically updates to Google Drive. And I think that's actually a really safe way of doing it, because you don't want the files you're editing in RPG Maker to upload directly. I think it's better to copy it somewhere else and have that place you're copying to upload to Drive or something like that. I really suggest some kind of setup like that, where you can automatically copy, like have it back up in more than one place. And now I'm going to switch to my heading out image. Okay, so that was, like I said, doing 2 hours today. I'm still getting used to it. I think I got a good bit done that I'm probably going to redo half of it, because that's the game dev process, is doing something over and over again until you're happy with it. Or until, I don't want to even say happy. Sometimes it's not even being happy with it. You just do it over and over again until you accept that it's as good as you're going to do. Or as good enough. Because sometimes good enough is good enough, guys. Like, sometimes you don't have to continue to tweak things forever. But so, like, next week, I'm going to probably be focusing on some other stuff. One, I'm probably going to start working on the opening cutscene. So we're going to get more into eventing. I think eventing is a lot more fun to do on stream, because then you start getting to walk through your process of what you're doing. So I look forward to anyone coming by next week. You can always, for more streaming stuff that's really exciting, on Mondays, we're still doing our playthrough things with Studio Blue. Also, just watch Studio Blue's own stuff. There's, like I was saying, Driftwood, they do streamings every day. They're cool to watch. I don't get to catch them as often because I wake up at weird times or I'm busy working. But also, I know that on Wednesdays, like a few hours before me, Trihan's also streaming. And so I would like to catch his at some point too. There's plenty of stuff for you guys to watch. And I'm going to see you next week. I'm going to go get something to eat. I hope you all have a wonderful day. And now I need to find the stop streaming button.